They say with great mustache comes great responsibility. So today I'm gonna lay some man wisdom on you and answer the question, should I warm up my engine before I drive it or not? Before we get to the myth-busting theory, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at CVanWeekend. Subscribe to Cars Unlocked. If you have any questions, I'm always here to answer them in the comments. When I was a little tyke, my mother used to say, Christopher, get the keys and go start the vehicle and warm it up before we go anywhere. I lived in the cold winters of Canada, so I always grew up thinking this is necessary. You might think so too, and you might find yourself consistently going out and warming up your car before you go anywhere. Let's start with where this myth has originated. It all originated with carburetors. Most older cars did have carburetors. Here we're in front of a 2018 Honda Odyssey, and this one is not going to come with a carburetor. However, carburetors needed to be warmed up in order to allow the right mix of fuel and air to enter the engine before you started driving. In the 1980s and throughout the 1990s, car manufacturers started to put fuel injectors into the vehicles, and carburetors began to be removed from vehicles. This allowed sensors to measure the air and fuel that was going into the engine, which basically didn't require you to heat up your car. The sensors are going to instantly put the correct air and fuel into your fuel lines and into your engine in order to give you the optimal driving conditions. So that is kind of when starting your car and letting it run for a bit deteriorated. People still to this day will go and warm up their car and let it run. However, this seems to be a big waste of fuel consumption, and it also is going to, over time, wear and tear on your engine. So what I would recommend is warming up your car for about 30 seconds, if that, getting in your car and taking off right away. The only thing that's going to really get your engine going and get to the optimal driving conditions is just by driving it. The only time you might want to let your car run is if it's cold in the wintertime and you have a ton of ice and a ton of snow on your windshield and you want to warm the car up before you take off so that it's easier to scrape the snow and the ice off your windshield, or so you can warm the inside of the cabin off so it's warmer for you to get in. Most cars nowadays are going to come equipped with a remote starter, which you can use. However, I recommend only letting your car idle for a few minutes. 5 minutes is too long, increases the pollution, and it's also going to increase your fuel consumption. Most remote starters will have a 10-minute shutoff on it. However, 5 minutes is enough time for you to defrost your windshield. Usually what I practice is I start my car, I begin taking the snow and ice off my windshield, and then once I'm finished, the car's usually warm by the time I get inside. So if you learned something here today, make sure you subscribe to Cars Unlocked. I just hit 10,000 subscribers. Thanks so much for everybody for subscribing. I do videos like this all the time, and I'm going to be reviewing the 2020s when they arrive. Thanks so much. Have a great day.